in our plan for this year, and then how it can be improved next year and what actions we'll need to take to improve it. So first off, we have the Alley Cat Ale and we have the production versus plan. So production's the blue line and the plan is the red. So you see initially we planned to have more Alley Cat in the first initial months just so it was built up for the summer months. And during the summer months we did good. We had more than we planned to, but then we hit a steep decline and then it went back up towards the end and we made a lot more just to prepare for the next summer. So for next year we just need to have more in the earlier months just to be more prepared so we don't have any loss in sales. Second we have Edgar. So again, the blue line is production, the red is the plan. So initially we produced, it's hard to say steady on here just because the production numbers and the plan numbers are a little bit different, but we did create a lot in the beginning months and like the first quarter of the year, and then we sold a lot, so we were really prepared for that. And the plan was just more consistent, so maybe we just follow more consistent for next time, but overall this ale did pretty good in production, and towards the end we should have just made a little more to keep up with that increase for the following months. And then for Taj Mahal, this one, again, production blue and plan red, it was pretty steady. Just the spikes are when the order comes in and then when we sold it. So overall, this one was really consistent and went along with our plan. However, in the end, we did make a lot more, but we were prepared more for that next upcoming year that we'll have. And in the plan, we didn't prepare as much for that. But Taj Mahal, we were most consistent with, and we planned the best for. So I'm going to move on to the next slide.
So my name is Logan, and this is a graph of the production pulled straight from Scrimmage Sim. So what we can see from this is we had lost sales in Alley Cat, which that is the main reason why we didn't have as high as the EBT as we'd like. One thing we can do next year is just produce more Alley Cat. We did a good job building it up, but we just kind of didn't produce as much as we needed to in the summer months. I think we can do that lowering our production of Edgar. We were high in Edgar, and then we dropped down in the summer months. We were high on Edgar, which we should have been probably in the 2000. Taj Mahal, we had no kind of stayed the same, which was good. That's probably the best thing we did best this year. Yeah, we had lost sales in Edgar too. It's just we need to follow our plan better for the next time. So this is a bar graph. It shows the lost sales we had in the month that they were in. As you can see here, we had the most lost sales in Alley Cat. That was due to us not producing enough in the summer. You can see May and June and August is when we ran out. And then we also have Edgar lost sales in December and January, which that is actually quite a bit. It's the highest point in Alley Cat. We could just, I think we need to focus less on Taj Mahal. We always have a little bit more Taj Mahal than we really need, but we can just increase the amount of Edgar in those final months. So here's our financial statement. We had a final EBT of, or we had a final balance of 293,963. And you can see here in our assets, we had a total assets of 3,800,061 and $538 worth of assets. Most of which were long-term assets. You can see we had machinery and equipment, 1.4 million, and building and improvements, 1.7 million for assets. And for liabilities, again, most of them were long-term. We did good on paying our loans off this year. Paid all our high interest loans off, and we had a gross profit of $832,408, which is pretty good. So
My name is William, and I'll be talking about the price changes. So as we heard earlier, AliCat was really kind of our downfall, but we started off amazing. You could tell with the growth starting from April, and then it keeps at a steady price rate. Once we get to June, that's where you really see AliCat set off price-wise because it's an increase of demand within the summer months. And what we really needed to change was we were making too much Edgar when we really need to be prepping for AliCat. So AliCat, we really wanted a slower drop off in production. Total quantity sold. So from this pie chart, it really looks good, but our total AliCat should be increased. Our total Edgar should be dropped a little bit because we wanted to push more production of AliCat. And with the increased price, we have more of a gross profit while also getting a little bit more of Taj Mahal. We did have lost sales in Taj Mahal and no lost sales in Edgar. So I really feel as though maybe if we pulled back on the Edgar just a little bit, we could make up for that smaller production with increasing a little bit more Taj Mahal and really utilizing AliCat during the summer months. And payments on loans. So, of course, we wanted to buy the fifth fermenter as early as we can. But our next focus was really paying off the highest interest rate. We want to get rid of the highest interest rate so we really don't have to worry about it later. So we end up having to focus more on the intermediate loans because we got the highest interest rate out the way. And my opinion on the loans, we did amazing getting rid of the highest interest rate early. So we really didn't have to worry about loans that much because we had a lot of money incoming from all the productions from AliCat, Edgar L, and Taj Mahal. So it was no main rush towards loans because we could always pay them out without dropping too low and having to take more loans out. And that's about our payments on loans.
yeah, so overall, we did a pretty good job at paying off our highest interest loans first. We ended up paying off all of them except for our boating loan, just because that has such a high balance. It just wasn't. It was just worth paying off only the what was required. So, but we paid off all of our other higher loans. Overall, I think next year things we can focus on to make the to get a higher EBT at the end of the year is just producing more AliCat. I think that was our biggest problem.
Yeah, so overall, we did a good job with production for Edgar and Taj, just more AliCat to prepare, and we did good with our loans. And I think next year we just continue and work on the things that we previously talked about. However, so far we've done a really good job with getting a high enough EBT and managing all of our production and all of the roles that were taken. So that's our scenario 220 presentation.